What's going on, Bucs fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Pirate Parlay podcast here on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm JC Allen, your host as always. Couple little vacation there. I was celebrating the birthday yesterday, doing some other things. But we're back, we're rolling, we're running, and the Bucs have made a lot of things happen since we were last live with Stephen Che and Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. So we'll get into all that. New offensive coordinator, new staffing on both sides of the ball. Some getting promotions, some being brought in. And then free agency is right around the corner. The combine is literally next week, and the draft is going to be on us before you know it. So we're going to bring us a guest in here today, and we'll kind of touch on the new hires and then briefly, and then we'll start looking at what the Bucs are going to do to A, open up cap space, B, who they're going to resign. Are there any trades out there, Max Crosby, or anything else they could be working on? We'll get into that. We might even mess with the new stick to the model, be a GM thing too, and kind of go through that so you can show you guys exactly how they can open up the space instead of just telling you guys. So we'll get into all that and more with our special guest right after the break.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Pirate Parlay.
Battle intercepted, picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world.
The sickest Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. It's going to be sick.
Welcome back to the other side of the Pirate Parlay podcast here on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm your host, JC Allen, and let's waste no time. He is from Real Bucs Talk. You know him as Michael Pless. Anything you guys want on draft breakdowns, free agent breakdowns, film breakdowns during the season, this is a place to go. One of the best, one of the only in Tampa Bay putting out that content for you guys. So appreciate that, and appreciate having you on, Mike. How are we doing?
I'm doing great, JC. It's great to be back on with you guys, and I'm just excited for this Bucs offseason to start. We had the Super Bowl go by, and 2025 is behind us, so now we look forward to 2026. So excited to get into it.
Yeah, it's in the books. Wasn't the outcome I was hoping for, but being in this field has taught me a few things, and it's taught me how to take my blinders off of being a fan and look at things analytical. So that morning, my wife was like, "You're excited? It's the Super Bowl." I was like, "No, not really. The Pats are going to lose." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, do you want the analytical approach or do you want the fan approach?" She's like, "Well, give me both." I was like, "That Seahawks is really good, and if Josh Allen can just not turn the ball over, Sam Darnold can not turn the ball over, they get Kenneth Walker moving at all, and they can get some pressure on Drake May, it's going to be over." And she's like, "All right, well, what about your fan side?" Well, Josh McDaniels has been here 10 times, won 6 of the Super Bowls. He knows what to expect. He knows what to do. Their defense is good at its own. Drake May is Drake May. He's the man. And she's like, "So what do you think?" I was like, "They're going to lose." But anyways, that's done with. We're moving on. 2025 season is here is in the books. 2026 is right on the cusp. It's right around the corner here. March is going to get started off. So we're in this dead zone in between time. We'll get the combine next week. We'll start flying off. But this is the time right now where coaches and the GMs, they all look at the roster, who they want to bring back, who they're going to let go, who they want to bring in, any trade targets. And then really, they're not even, a lot of the coaches aren't even started on draft work right now. None of the coaches, I've talked to a few of them, they're not started on draft. They're working on free agency right now and their own stuff. So that will come after the combine and after free agency starts. But that's where we'll start, is the new coaching staffs, because that's going to change and dictate maybe some of the things this Bucs team wants to do. So let's start with the big one. That was Zach Robinson, the OC. He's a former OC of the Falcons. 2 years ago, everybody wanted him, and we're really disappointed when they got Liam Cohen instead. Didn't work out the way they thought it would. But I still like the hire. I said it about a week and a half before it happened. Even with the Monk and the McDaniel, I just thought Zach Robinson made the most sense. He's bringing in a similar system. He's worked with Baker Mayfield together. It just made a lot of sense for everything. It's going to be, his philosophy is same as Liam's and same as Sean, is players over plays at the end of the line, get it to your playmakers and let them do something, because those are the guys. So I like the hire. It's not something that I was obviously overly thrilled with, but if you're keeping Todd, it made a lot of sense. What were your thoughts on that hire? Do you have optimism going into the season? Do you think Zach has learned from what went wrong in Atlanta? And of course, there's not going to be a lot of pistol because he doesn't have who can't move here on the roster in Tampa Bay. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I'm learning as I continue to learn things in this, industry and like, analyzing the team and covering the team. It's a relationship business. It's a huge part of it. So when you look at Zach Robinson and Baker Mayfield, their history, and obviously the time there in 22, they, did a lot of good things. So you want to have more of that. And I think just the overall fit for the offense, Zach Robinson and his experience, he's an experienced play caller now. I think he's going to bring a lot of good where it's going to allow Todd Bowles to be a little bit more, factored in as far as zoned into the defense instead of worrying about the offense, worrying about a rookie play caller and Josh Grizzard. So with Zach, I think it's going to be a huge benefit. And obviously we're going to see new things, new wrinkles, but also a lot of what we've seen in the past and more so of what they've done well. I think they're going to enhance that.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It lets Todd focus on the defense. And I think, even talking to people in the building and players and even the coaches that he had to help. He had to divert a lot of his time and energy into that side of the ball, especially in the most important times, Pless, right? And that's training camp, OTAs, mini camp. That's when you're putting your install in. That's when you're, during the week, if people you're not using your whole playbook during the week for a game. You're literally looking at what plays you have work best against that, and you're implementing a game plan for that week. Here are the plays we're going to call. There's always, you have those in your back pocket if you need them, but the install for that week is the install for that week. The install at training camp is the playbook, is pretty much everything, is the fundamentals, is the basics. This is our philosophy. This is why we're doing this, so we can get to X, Y, Z. That's the most important. And he had to split his time over the last 3 seasons with the defense and the offense. And I think having him be able to concentrate on the offense more, and I think that was a big reason why they were interested in those names, like a Brian Callahan, like a Todd Monken, like a Mike McDaniel, because it's a set it and forget it. What do you need from me? All right, gotcha. So I think that's a huge part. And I think that's a big onus, I think, of why they wanted someone with experience. And it should hopefully help the defensive side of the ball too. Zach Robinson, you're right. A couple new wrinkles. Maybe we'll see a little bit more zone, inside, outside zone type of stuff. Maybe some more mid zone. They run that a lot, but if he's anything like McVay and like Liam Cohen, he'll be able to adapt to his personnel. And let's get this straight. He did not go into Atlanta saying, "I can't wait to run the pistol offense." And for as much as it sucked, if you're a Atlanta fan and watching it, you're like, "Oh my God, I hope he doesn't." He had to make those adjustments to what he had on the team. And that's good for sure, that he can make those adjustments. I think one of the more under the radar signings, and it's got talked about a little bit, but is a new quarterbacks coach. Landed a stud, young play caller, national champion from Indiana. I think that move was something that's gone under the radar, but it gives you that, I don't want to say succession plan, but it gives you another young mind to work with, because they obviously like Thad Lewis, but felt that he was capped out at that position. The new guy they're bringing in, there's a lot of buzz around him, but I don't think there's enough. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, Chandler Whitmere, I think that's how you pronounce it. He is, he's only 34 years old, so he's kind of in that young mold, kind of similar to Josh Grizzard, but also has experience working with Zach Robinson. They worked together in 2024. And now he went to Indiana and was the quarterback. I believe he was, the co-offensive coordinator and then also quarterbacks coach. So he worked very closely with Fernando Mendoza, and his game improved tremendously from his, days in California. So I think that just brings new ideas, someone different, a new voice for Baker Mayfield, and hopefully that can elevate his game as well. And I think that's what that's the best case scenario. But just adding him, having another young voice in there, I think that'll be a very, very good thing for the offense. Yeah,
I think so too. And again, I don't know if it's being talked about enough, but one of the things that was interesting with that signing, or that hire rather, was the Raiders were in on him too. And he literally worked with Mendoza and decided that he'd rather come to Tampa, which I think is just a statement of, this team went through a lot of adversity last year, injuries and stuff like that. And I think I think they realize we're in a window now where if we don't take advantage of this, then, what are we doing in 2027? And I think that's it probably could have led to his part of the decision for him to come here and have a chance to kind of win and be part of a winning organization rather than build from the ground up, which either way is admirable. Two other guys that he's bringing in, Zach Robinson, is Ken Zambisi and TJ Yates, formerly with him on other staffs. TJ Yates, former quarterback in the league. Zambisi's been around for a while. I think he's going to be the pass game coordinator, or Zambisi's going to be the senior offensive assistant, and Yates is the pass game coordinator, I believe, right?
Correct. Yeah. I think both of those guys, again, just add more experience. And obviously they've been around Zach for a few years, but also have just, not only playing experience, but also Zampisi's another guy who coached Baker Mayfield. So the relationships are already kind of in place there. And I think it's good. I think both of those guys can add something new. And I do like that they retain most of the other offensive assistants, bringing back, the offensive line coach is key. They did lose Brian Picucci. But yeah, I think those new voices, I think, is going to be a big benefit. And now it's just how can you mold everything together? And the bright side is that Zach Robinson knows the personnel, from his days playing in the division. So I think there won't be much drop off or time wasted because he already knows, what he has here.
Yeah. And I agree, having, keeping the continuity with Peel, Pete, and Carberry is good. They brought in one other guy on the offensive side, and it's kind of crazy. So this past weekend, I went to a coaching seminar for youth football and stuff like that. I'm coaching myself. You guys already know about that, and everything. But I went to the youth coaching seminar, and before he was signed to or hired from the Bucs, he was announced as the offensive line coach, Andrew Mitchell from Oklahoma State. So then he was announced, and I was like, holy shit, it's crazy. So he was doing his presentation, and he's a really good teacher, really good teacher. I think he's going to get some stuff out of these. And he was showing, he used his stance, perfect stance. He used the picture of Luke Gedeke in his stance. He was showing clips of Cody and some double team blocks and stuff like that he was teaching us on how to combo block and stuff. And he's using clips of that. And, I think he's going to be a really good addition to the room too. On the defensive side of the ball, not too many additions, only a defensive line coach. They brought the guy in from Buffalo. I can't remember his name, but I know you'll know it. Yeah. And then they made some promotions on the side. I think Rashad Johnson moving up to cornerbacks coach. I love that. He's been great. You look at what he's done with the nickel coaches the last 3 years, corners the last 3 years. I think he's done a great job. And Tim Atkins, I don't really have a lot of issues with the safety play. I mean, I think it's been kind of on the players more so than on Rapone. Rapone challenged Antoine Winfield to get 7 interceptions a game. That's not going to happen, Nick. But I think Atkins has worked with them, and he's had his hand in that room. They all respect him too. Tim, he's going to be taking over for the safety. So I'm not mad with the moves. I kind of wish they would have brought in more, maybe a senior defensive assistant or something that can kind of be in Bowles' ear, someone with defensive coordinator experience, maybe some with head coach, just so he's got someone that's been at the same level as him to kind of give him some pushback. Not that I don't think Larry Foote's not giving Bowles pushback, but I think it would just be a nice addition. But what are your thoughts on the defensive ends?
Yeah, I think Marcus West from Buffalo, I think that's I think it's a solid move. He's done, I think, a pretty good job with their overall pass rush, especially with what he's done with Ed Oliver when he has been healthy and had been on the field. Really took his game, I think, to another level.
And just DT in the game.
Yep, and you have a very similar one that's trying to get off in as far as Kalijah Cansey. He's trying to take that next step. Just has to be able to stay healthy. So I think his experience, but also just his ability to bring a new voice, a little bit more energetic, younger defensive line coach as well, kind of will mesh, I think, with Larry Foote and their energy kind of, coinciding. I think that'll be good. So I don't have any issues with that one. I think the secondary coaches, Rashad Johnson was going to get a job somewhere if it wasn't here. That guy's been really good, especially as a Nichols coach. He's helped Christian Izzy and Tyke Smith and Jacob Parrish all succeed. So I think that was a great promotion. Tim Atkins, I think, will help just because of the youth. I think there was a definite disconnect with Nick, and I don't know if this is for sure, but it just seems like there's a disconnect between Nick Rapone and Kevin Ross as far as the coaches, especially when you listen to their off-season press conferences. It seemed like there was some discord there. So I think making a change for those two positions, and especially the inconsistencies or drop off, especially that we saw from Zion McCollum and also Tyke Smith moving to safety, and he had some, inconsistencies there as far as being a free safety, and Winfield, kind of being interchangeable. So I think these moves hopefully will help that.
Yeah, it looked like, to be honest with you, Tyke hit the rookie wall in the sophomore season. And, you're like, rookie wall, sophomore season. But he was playing a new position, so, and everyone started getting banged up around him and his responsibilities grew. I think the way he started this season, he was top 3 at free safety or strong safety votes for the Pro Bowl. Like, he was tearing it up to begin with and then got injured, missed the game, and it just kind of regressed there. But yeah, and then Danny Smith, special teams coach, get your gum ready. I think he's going to bring I think Riley Dixon really turned it around. Chase McLaughlin, when you know what he is. They'll bring back Evan Deckers. I'm not worried about the special teams unit. They got Tez. They got, Cam Johnson. Is he back? Who knows? We'll see. Not worried about that. But what I am worried about now is how the Bucs try to keep this team together, and not necessarily this team per se, 2 players on the team together, and also make a bunch of moves on offense. So those 2 guys I'm talking about are Mike Evans and Cade Otton. I think everybody else on the offensive side of the ball, you're fine to say goodbye to. And if you're not fine to say goodbye to them, they're not going to cost a lot. Kokeef's going to cost you, $1.7 million or something like that if you want to keep them. There's some moves on the offensive side that's not going to cost you a lot, but the big 2 ones are going to be exactly what we've been talking about here, and that's going to be Mike Evans and Cade Otton. So let's see what the Bucs are working with. Let's see what they have for cap room. Let's see how they can make more cap room. See if they can afford these guys. Oh, let's see what we're not going to do. So I'm going to share my screen right now. We're going to go to stick to the model. It's a free thing over on Twitter if you haven't checked it out already. It's pretty sick. It's fun. You can do the whole offseason in one go. Cap management, trade, salary cap, draft. I don't know if we'll get through all of it, but we'll definitely start it and pick up where we left off probably if we don't. But let's just jump into it right now. The Bucs are going to start off the season with about $24 million in cap space. They're going to need to make some maneuvers, obviously, to open up some more cap space. This is going to show players who are free agents, but it doesn't show them in the next one. So it doesn't show them in the next slide. So we're going to go through and we'll restructure some of these guys. I think the biggest candidates for restructures, Michael, and you help me. We're probably looking at Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs for sure, because they're young players who we're not going to want to get rid of anytime soon, right?
Right. Yeah, I would say probably Winfield, Wirfs, Gedeke potentially. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't think they're going to restructure Chris. Probably no to Baker as well.
I would say that as well. Let's see if we can restructure. So it doesn't let us restructure Luke at all.
Oh, okay. No worries.
So we're not going to do that. So right now with those 2 moves opening up, Tristan Wirfs, restructuring him, and Antoine Winfield, we've opened up about $46.2 million. There's really nobody on this roster worth restructuring. You're probably not going to do Vita Vea at 30, 2 years. Chris Godwin, 2 years left. And, I don't know if he's a lock to stay here. They could certainly look to use him in a deal. We could restructure Zion if we wanted to. That would open up. Actually, that wouldn't open up any because they're counting him as the same thing. The only person that I've tinkered with opening up cap space for is a guy like Ben Bredesen. I think it opens up about $4 million. Yeah. I can add a void year on there, so it stretches it out. It's not a lot of money to cut him if you got to eat the dead money, 4.2, and that gives us $50 million to spend.
Okay.
Which is about what I think they'll probably be able to open up. Maybe, they don't do Ben Bredesen, but $50 million sounds about right to you?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good number. I mean, it's going to be $50 million in cash is what we're looking at. So,
right. And that's the thing, guys. We need to kind of, especially when we do these exercises, these are going to give you the cash numbers, right? It's not going to give you the option to give him a $1.2 million salary and push it with void years. So especially when you're doing this is what the Bucs have to spend is $50.4 million in cash. This is what they're going to have to spend, including the cap increase, Cannabis. Yes. And if you guys want more, you guys know who to follow. Go talk to Josh Capo. He breaks this down like nobody's business. And he's got the Bucs at about $50 million in cash. Now that could change, that could go up or down. We'll kind of see how it all works here. They do include some trade offers. I don't Garrett Williams, Trenton Simpson. Carolina wants Vita Vea. They're offering a second and a fourth round pick. Pittsburgh's offering a second and a third round pick. Houston's offering pick 38 for Vita Vea.
I mean, if Pittsburgh wants to give Nick Herbig, but I mean, I wouldn't trade Vita Vea. I mean, he's got 1 year left. I would let that ride out.
If we send a fourth and a fifth, they'll get the Rams will give us Roquan Smith, which is interesting, but
I don't think that's good value for the Ravens.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be super hesitant on potentially moving off Vita Vea again. Like you said, he's got 1 year left. He's 30 years old, going to be 31 this year. Traditionally, with nose tackles, they start to fall off, especially the elite ones who are amazing athletes. Look no further than Vince Wilfork, one of the most athletic nose tackles of his generation. He still fell off after a little bit. I wouldn't be totally against it, but it's also not something that I'm super looking forward to. But there are some moves I feel like we can make here. And I think the biggest one right now that everyone's talking about is the one we should talk about right away. And I think that's Max Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, if Max Crosby is available, you definitely gotta entertain it. And it's gonna take Jason Light adjusting to what he normally doesn't do, and that's give up draft picks. But I think for a player like Crosby, you gotta go for it, because what Crosby could do for your defense is way better than what you can get at 15, way better than what you can get in free agency. He's a game changer. He's a force multiplier. He's a guy that can help this defense. And if this defense he's going to be, 29 before the season starts, but I mean, he's still in his prime, I think.
And he's on a good deal compared to what everybody else signed after him.
He is on a good deal. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders, take some of his contract on and try to, help out a deal.
So that's the thing. So if the Raiders take on some of that contract, you're definitely looking in a price increase as far as what it's going to cost to get him. So you're definitely looking at for 2 first-round picks, maybe a little bit more if they eat his contract. We can't make them eat his contract, so this scenario would be a little bit less than the 2 first-round picks, probably like a first and a 2 or a first and a 3 or something like that. Maybe a first and a 3 this year, a first and a 2 next year. But there's also another situation, another potential piece of the puzzle, because right now the Las Vegas Raiders are set to draft Fernando Mendoza with their first pick. Now they have Brock Bowers and they have Ashton Genty, but their receiver room is nil. They don't have anything there. Yeah. And I saw T-Kraz was talking about this earlier today. I've been talking about it for a minute. Would you be opposed to moving someone like Chris Godwin in a deal with the 15th overall pick and maybe a 4th or a 5th or something like that to facilitate a trade? And again, this is on the onus that you're going to re-sign Mike Evans, because the conversation with Mike Evans is huge, right? Mm-hmm. Do you re-sign Mike Evans and do you re-sign Cade? Because this is what we're talking about, right? Do you re-sign both of those guys? Because if they do, there's $30 million of your $50 million gone,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely.
Edge rusher, you're spending at least $25 million on him, and that's Trey Hendrickson or Jalen Phillips. They ain't going to come cheaper than that.
Yeah, I would definitely, if Mike is coming back for sure, I would definitely re-sign Mike. I think his importance to the offense and when he's healthy, and I think last year, I think you kind of just throw in the trash, because usually he doesn't suffer those kinds of injuries that he did. So I think he will be obviously motivated. He'll be ready to have a great season. So I would definitely sign Mike Evans back, because he just opens up so much for your other guys. Right. Cade Otton, I'm a huge Cade Otton fan, as you know, JC. I love Cade Otton, but I think you just have to look at his market and how high is that going to be. If you can get him back closer to, 10 million or maybe less, I would definitely be all in on it. But if he's going to demand a higher number than that. Like if we're getting into the 13s,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I'm
I
there
would
with you.
probably let him walk. Maybe let him walk, test the market, and he comes back with a number. And if you decide to match it, okay. But if not, no worries.
Yeah.
You can, and the great thing is you can find a cheaper free agent at tight end, or you can go out and get someone in the draft on day 3 because this tight end class is pretty good as far as overall depth goes. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, if it's that much money, I'm against it. I'm not for it at all. But if it's within the ballpark of that 9 to 10 million, I'm for bringing them back. There's a couple other guys that I'd be interested in free agency or the draft,
Right.
especially if they're not going to use tight ends as much. It's interesting because you saw what Sean McVay did last year, going to that 12 personnel a lot.
Yeah.
And you saw obviously what a move tight end can do in Robinson's kind of offense. And Higbee played that role in the past. Who else played that? Gerald Everett played that role in the past for the Rams. So there's certainly you can make some moves here. But back to this trade. So we got a 15th overall pick, Chris Godwin and Max Crosby. It's kind of right in the middle, saying we could offer this trade. It could be accepted, but I think adding a sweetener like a 5th round pick would probably do it. I could try to offer this. What do you think?
No, I think that's good. I would probably add something from 2027. I would probably add a 3rd. Just make it.
They won't let me add future picks, so we'll pretend it's there.
Okay.
And it's been done.
Okay. Yeah, but I could definitely see Godwin being a part of the deal, especially with Spytech being there. You already have a built-in relationship. And obviously he knows Chris very well. I think it's something you have to discuss with Mike Evans and make sure. I think Mike would be on board because again, you're helping the defense. It sucks that you're letting probably your best friend on the team go, but I think he understands this is a type of move that could help your team get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I agree, and I kind of agree with Richard too. Says I hate to say, but I don't think Light can make that trade for Crosby. I don't think Light would be willing to give up a guy like Chris Godwin to get a deal done. Unfortunately, RFA tenders are not going to tender anybody. I'm not paying $3.5 million for Sean Tucker, Marquise Watts, or Christian Izien. Although I think Christian Izien, I would pay that for Christian Izien, but to be honest, he's not coming back. He wants to have an opportunity to go start somewhere and get more playing time. So that being said, we're up again, but we're going to fly through this right now. We're re-signing Mike Evans. We already said we were, so let's do it.
Yep.
1-year deal, Mike. Come on, get out of here. Trying to go for a 5-year deal. So we got Mike Evans for 16.6, which is a good deal.
Yep.
But that drops us down to $19.8 million in cap space. Remember, we do have Max Crosby on the team now. Max Crosby is your starting right defensive end. Or whatever. This has got a 3-4, but we know how it goes, really, kind of. So,
and they could easily restructure his deal as well to open up, more cap space. But again, with the money allotted, now you look at other people. I would proceed as is. I would probably let Kate Otten walk.
Connor Baszler. Maybe even not even. I mean, I would sign Shepard, but not for $3.2 million. I would sign him before the start of training camp. Not signing Koki for 3.1. Greg Gaines at $1 million. I think we can do better.
Yep.
To be honest, and we're just gonna move on.
I would say interior defensive line and linebacker would be my choices of attacking and free agency. That's where I would like to go.
So let's go look at linebacker. And let's look at kind of the APY here. They've got Devin Bush at about 14.2, Devin Lloyd at 13, which makes no sense to me. Nakobe Dean at 12.6, Caden Ellis at 10.3. Devin White going to get paid $10 million this year. Just 9 more years and you get $100 million.
Yeah, I'm looking more so at like Quincy Williams. I think would be a good move. Alex Anzalone would be someone on my radar. Justin, I think it's Strnad is how you pronounce it, from Denver. Yep. I think all those guys would be on my radar because you need someone that can not only has experience playing the position, but also can move, still has good athleticism.
Right.
Guy that can be dependable. And obviously, you're going to marriage this signing with a draft pick as well.
Right. So having someone who has some chops and knows what it is, knows what it doesn't. Alex Singleton would come really cheap. I almost would like to sign. I'm with you. I like Alex Singleton. I wanted to sign him 2 years ago, but he re-signed with a Denver. We'll sign him to a 1-year deal, 1.8.
Okay.
I like that as a guy, but I feel like they need to really secure this room. So in addition to him, because he was so cheap, I'm with you. This is a guy who I wanted at the trade deadline. They didn't get him. But Quincy Williams, from the Jets, I think he only costs about 6.4. Let me find them. $6.3 million is what he's going to ask for. 2-year deal, $9.7 million, 53% above market. Let's see if we can.
You'll probably end up getting him for about $1 to $5 million. Is probably what he's going to end up costing.
Pay 6.3. All right, so we're down to 11.7. We've got 2 linebackers, so our linebackers looking good. Let's look at the defensive lineman class here. See what else we can get. Our draft pick stock is already rolled into this, I believe, so we're good. Let's see. Defensive tackles.
Yeah, defensive tackles, I have basically 2 names, but I don't think they're going to be able to get him now because he is the talk of social media, and that's John Franklin Myers. So I don't think his price tag is probably looking 10 million or more now, just because of the interest that he's going to receive. I would love Sheldon Rankins. That would be my next target. If you can get him at 1 year, 7.5, I would do it. Also, I like Sebastian Joseph Day. That's who I would go after. I think he's an upgrade over Greg Gaines. And then also you would marriage this addition with a draft pick as well. Because you got to upgrade over Greg Gaines, Logan Hall.
Yeah.
And you got to do the same at linebacker with Levante David and Servassier Dennis. So
right. I like Kyrus Tonga a little bit too.
He's good too, man. He can stop the run. I would be surprised if he hits free agency. I would think the Patriots would want him back, but I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure how much playing time he gets. I know they put him in a rotation, so
lineup. He can play fullback too, and he's pretty cheap.
Right,
1.3.
He would be a great addition just because I think he's just more built to not only play behind Vita and be that extra guy in case Vita gets hurt, but he also can do a lot in your run defense and just be a better player than what Gaines was able to provide you.
Agreed. All right, so we've made a couple signings. We got $10.4 million left. Again, our draft picks are included in that. We signed Mike Evans in free agency. On the defensive side, we signed Kyrus Tonga. We made a trade for Max Crosby. We also added the linebacking room. I don't know why it doesn't have it on there, but we added Quincy Williams, and we also added
Alex Singleton
as well. So defensive, we've got some upgrades to this front 7 here. Offensive side of the ball, we still got a couple bucks to spend. We're looking for a tight end. We're looking for maybe an interior offensive lineman. Remember, we do not have a first-round pick now, so one less position that we need to look for as edge, but also one less draft pick to potentially address other needs. Tight end. Anyone catching your eye out here as far as potential available tight ends, not named, Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go after Kyle Pitts. I mean, I would like Tyler Higbee. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be available, but I would like him. I mean, I think he would be a good veteran. Trying to think of like other cheaper options. Maybe, I don't know, because he hasn't played very much for Baltimore, but I think he still has talent, and that's Charlie Kolar. I think
Charlie Kolar. I do like Charlie Kolar too.
Yeah. I think he would be a good, just cheap option that you could bring in.
I do like, they're about the same. Higbee and Kolar are about the same. Higbee experience in that system, but he is 33 compared to Kolar, who's only 27. So potentially someone you can build. He's only going to be on a 1-year deal. Maybe a 2-year
it just
deal.
depends what they're looking for. I know Kolar's probably more that traditional wide tight end.
think
So
probably what
I
they're
think
looking
Higbee's a little bit more of your move type that can get vertical.
We signed Charlie Kolar, so we're losing a wide tight end. Let's replace him with another wide tight end.
Right, makes sense.
All right, let's see. And our final move here, let's look at the interior offensive line, our cornerbacks too. I guess we could take a peek at cornerback, see if there's any veteran depth out there. Since we are losing Jamel Dean.
Interior offensive line. I think you're looking for like a guy that can play potentially guard or center. That would be ideal. But
right,
again,
the guy
it just
who's
depends on
intrigued
cost.
me is Elijah Wilkinson with the Falcons. He doesn't play center, but he plays guard and tackle. Obviously, improved throughout the season last year. Obviously Zach Robinson knows him. He's a guy that can play kind of all four spots on the line besides center.
Right.
I loved Caleb Evans coming out of college, but he didn't do anything.
Yeah, for corner, I've been looking at a couple names. I don't know if Roger McCreary is going to be available. I would like the addition of him, but he probably gets re-signed.
Yeah, short arms.
Awuzie, I would like him too. Chidobe. I think he would be interesting, but again, it just depends on costs. Most likely, he's probably off the market.
He's looking at. They've got him at like $7 million.
Yep.
So maybe we look to the draft, or maybe we look till after afterwards, and kind of see if we can get another corner there. Kind of see what happens. Akela Witherspoon. I don't know how he was last year, but
he's just been injury prone.
Yeah. Nashawn Wright is going to be an interesting option. I don't think the Bucs afford him. Okay, so let's go with what we have. We got $6.6 million. We can address after there. Let's go into what time? What do we got? We're already at 37 minutes. I said we want to go 30. What do you got for time? You want to run through a full draft or the standard draft?
I'm good. Yeah, we can run through a full draft. Just bump up that speed and we're good to go.
Let's go very fast.
Yeah.
Full draft and let's go. All right. Remember, we don't have a first round draft pick because we have Max Crosby.
Yeah, the offseason's already a win with Max Crosby. I mean, this offseason, the mission should be front seven. That's what it should be called. And I agree with you. You gotta add to the front seven. You gotta find a way to improve there. And you're getting a player in Max. Now Yaya Diaby becomes better. Vita Vea, everyone involved becomes better on that side. And here at 46, you're going to the right spots there. Linebacker, I wouldn't even hate edge rusher. Yep, exactly. Like, add another one if you have to.
This is it. This is all I'm looking at in this draft, really.
Yep.
This early, I'm not even this.
Right.
To an extent, I wouldn't mind. And someone did this. One of the pro guys, they gave him a guard at 15. And I wouldn't mind it.
I could see it.
If he's the best,
I would have to. Yeah, I would have to watch
center?
Offensive linemen, but
even a center, like if there's a good center, probably should have Zach Frazier, who I wanted them to take in the first place. But if they find a good center and bump Graham Barton over, and now you have Bredesen as your utility guy, at a normal, what he's making $6.5 million, that's not terrible.
Right.
Not terrible for a backup offensive lineman that can do so much.
Yep. No, definitely something to look at. But I think, were we taking a trade?
We're just looking at it.
Okay.
So we can move back 5 spots and pick up a future third. Actually, we lost the 3rd round pick in the Crosby trade, so we would regain it, another one back, or we'd move back to the 3rd round and pick up 2 third rounds. I don't want to do that.
No,
I'm not opposed to that Carolina trade, but let's kind of see what's on the board here. I'm going to take interior offensive line and just look at these 3 positions here.
Okay.
I think we can look at interior down the line. For linebackers, pretty much what you don't want to happen just happened. Jake Galladay, Anthony Hill went ahead of you.
Yeah.
CJ Allen went in the 1st round. Lee Hunter went. He would have been someone that would have been high on my board right here. Same thing with Akeem Misador, who I think is landed at 38, but that will not be the case. He'll be a top 20 pick.
Yeah, he's going 1st round. Linebacker, I mean,
We have Jacob Rodriguez there, who's a big name. I think Josh and Scott just put him in there, mocking the second round. So it wouldn't be crazy, but I would, if we're gonna make that move, I'd like to maybe move back.
Yeah, I like Trotter. I like trying to see who else.
Well, I just put on everybody. My bad. So
no, you're good. Interior
the best
defense
player available is a cornerback, but not only by 4 spots. So it's not like we had anyone fall deeply.
I mean, Thieneman, the kid from Oregon, he would be, I think, a really good pick. Just because he could potentially play free safety for you. It can move Tyke back to nickel.
Move Jacob Parrish outside.
Yeah.
Benjamin Morrison go.
Dominique Orange, I think, is more probably later rounds, probably 3rd round, 4th round.
I agree.
All these,
high for him.
Yeah, all these guys are most likely the edge of round 3, day 3 guys. So really, you're looking at linebacker. Zion Young, I think, would be cool just because he's very similar to Yaya Diaby, but he's got a lot of power to his game, can do some things off the edge. Gabe Yakis is someone I did a video on, really a good fan of him. So, yeah, I mean,
I think it's just what do we need right away, right? I think
linebacker
what we did in free agency is nothing. Because technically we have 3 starting capable linebackers right on the roster right now. We've got our edge starters good. David Walker's coming back. We have Anthony Nelson. Chris Braswell, I should have dumped him off in that Crosby trade just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, you really can go best player. So
I'm going to take this trade right here.
That's smart.
Pick that we lost.
Yeah, move down a little bit. Yeah, I would, at the top of the board, I would say, either Young or Trotter for me. I think both of those are good picks.
All right, what do we got in the chat? Let me see. What do you guys think? Okonkwo at tight end?
That's the free agent.
That's Chiggy, right? From Tennessee? All right.
Yep.
Let's, it's just been inconsistent, you know?
Yep.
Let's go with the linebacker. Let's go with the young linebacker. Trotter, Trotter.
Yeah, he's 20 years old. He's going to get better. He has good lineage. You know, obviously his father played in the league a long time.
Right.
He can help you on special teams and blitzing. So
now I feel comfortable pulling some of these guys up again.
Yeah, definitely. This is, what you did in free agency, it allows you to look at offense.
Maybe not wide receiver as much. If we didn't get a wide receiver, one name, if they do not re-sign Mike Evans and they make some moves or whatever, 2 names I really like for these big, tall wide receivers, Malachi Fields and Jacoby Lane. Because while this offense doesn't necessarily need a Mike Evans 6'4" type wide receiver,
it'd be nice to have one. Yeah, it'd be nice to have.
It's just better. Oh, Trinidad went to the Steelers. All right, let's look through this. Top of the board is Derek Moore. Really impressive at the Senior Bowl. Did a lot of good things there. We're right on pace here. We don't have any real true fallers. If you look, 76. So we're right here as where we're supposed to be as far as players available. And again, these are kind of take it as a grain of salt because these rankings are going to be different for you guys.
Yeah, I saw Jonah Coleman on there. I think he would be a good pick just to help your running back room. Genesis Smith, the safety, I think would be good.
I don't think this is the round to go running back. And I wish I went back to free agency because I probably would have signed. Actually, I can't go to free agency. In the middle of the draft, we're signing people, guys. We're just.
Yeah. Oh, Algier. Yeah.
Yep. Give me Tyler Algier. I can afford him. I know I can.
Yep.
So I'm going to grab him because I think that gives you a nice RB2. And it also gives you a guy who can pick up the short yardage, which the Bucs have not been able to do forever. All right. Back to the draft. We just signed Tyler Algier. Having the draft started all over again. Whatever, we know what we're doing. We'll run through it. Run through it. Can we start the draft again, guys? This is the Buccaneers calling. We're not ready yet. All right. All right. All right. All right. What do we got? We got that trade still available? We don't. We're good though. We're good. No trade offers. All right. Who did we take here?
I think we took Trotter.
We took Trotter. All right.
Yep.
Let's take Trotter here. We only picked up a future 3rd round pick, so it doesn't really matter. We didn't lose anything capital in this draft, so we're good there. Now we're back on the clock here, and we've got more options available to us. Of course, Jacob Rodriguez would fall now. Okay, no wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, and safety. All right, here we at. Kamari Ramsey is the highest ranking player on the board for us right now. Followed by, you know what? We don't need a tight end in round 3.
Yeah, for here, I would probably be looking at Genesis Smith, the safety. I really like his game just because I want to add a guy that can do free safety stuff. So you can move Antoine Winfield around. You can move Tyke.
Bud Clark really impressed at the Senior Bowl.
He did.
But yeah, if you want to add another pass rusher, Danny Dennis Sutton is a guy who I like too. Dante Corleone, he's kind of your Kalijah Cansey-esque. He's smaller, quicker guy. He's not a run stuffer, kind of like some of these. And I do think that's needed. I do think they do need someone to step in. You signed Kyrus Tunga for this year, but eventually you're going to need it. But maybe you don't need it this year. I do like the idea of getting a Genesis Smith because it does allow you, if injuries happen, right? We don't necessarily, if we go safety, we don't necessarily need a corner now because we know we can move Jacob Parrish outside to outside corner, move down Antoine or Tyke in the slot, or move over. However we need to work it out, it will work out. So I do like that move. All right, now I'm fine looking at tight end, running back, and lineman here in round 3, along with cornerback. Katron Allen, a super popular pick. We signed Tyler Algier, so we really don't need him. So let's get rid of running back out of here.
Yeah, I do like McClellan. I think he would be interesting as a defensive tackle. Tim Keenan, I think, is good too.
Take out cornerback. And let's take out edge. So let's look at the positions that we need to fill continuing here. There's going to be defensive tackle and interior offensive line. I would really like to come out of these next 2 rounds with one of each.
Yeah, I mean,
because we're in round 4 and 5 here.
Sam Heck wasn't he the guy that was pretty good? I think he played center and guard at the Senior Bowl. I thought he was the guy who got a lot of praise, I believe. So he would be intriguing. I wouldn't mind someone like him. Just help.
And what's our pick? 155 for the 5th round.
Yep.
Right. 153. So, all right. And that's offense. So let's look at defense and let's kind of see what would be available around 153. DeMonte Carpet, Rashawn Berry, Xavier Harris. Sky Gill Howard is someone who I'm interested in.
Yeah. He's a smaller guy, but he did well as far as pass rush a couple of years ago.
And you got and he was just, there's just so much talent at Texas Tech this year too. Everyone was eating. And you picked up Kyrus Tonga, so you kind of have that bigger body replacement. As far as interior and offensive tackle, because they're one and the same, around 153. Yeah, Jaden Roberts. I don't trust Alabama offensive lineman. Demetrius Crownover. Name the last good one.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't
tell you. Can't tell you.
Right. So I'm with you. I think I like the I like the defensive tackles available more so than I like the offensive linemen. So let's go with Sam Hecht right now. We've crossed off 2 positions now. We've got interior offensive line depth. We have our defense, our swing tackle of the future in Chooks. So we're good there. We'll keep it on all right now just to take a look at everyone who's available right here, just because we are in this 5th round, so BPA.
Yeah, Justin Jolly would be a good tight end pick. Trying to see who do we have at defensive tackle. So Skylar Gill Howard we could take. And
that kind of fills that role too of Logan Hall, who is a 5 tech technically. Traditionally in a 3-4, you'd put Logan Hall at a 5 tech. Skylar Howard plays that position as well. He's got a really good scouting report here. Undersized, so that's the thing.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a smaller guy. Yeah, I would probably go with the best available, and that's the kid Jolly from the tight end at NC State. Really good contested catch guy. Has some good athleticism. So that's probably where I would go. Unless is Sam Roush here? I don't know, the kid from Stanford.
Stanford, yes,
he's still available. Maybe we can wait on him. I don't know if he'll make it to 190, but
probably not.
Yeah, I would just go with Jolly. I think he's the better player
over a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I would just go with and then hopefully we can get somebody at D line. Are you trying to trade up? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Might as well. See, is it not going to work? Oh, there you go, Braswell.
Poor value. They'll likely reject.
Hey, I mean, you can't deny the logic there.
Jeez, we'll give him a 7th round too. See if they trade was rejected. Difference 0.8 points. So drop. Okay, can we give them both? Because I wouldn't mind.
I mean, we're almost to our pick. Oh no, we're not. Never mind.
No,
we're at 167. Yeah, you're trying to jump up a lot. You're at 194. So
I figured maybe Braswell. Someone wants Braswell. Why do we still have Chris Godwin there?
No one wants Braswell.
Nobody wants Braswell. That's true.
No.
What if we get them everything? Will they take it? No, they won't even take it. All right. Well, we're not getting Skylar Howard. We'll have to see what comes to us.
Yeah.
2 picks left. We got an hour. We're supposed to go 30 minutes, but hey, we're here. You guys are here. That's all that counts. We're having fun.
Yep.
Max Crosby's a Buccaneer. All right, let's look at everyone available, but we do need a defensive lineman at some point. Even at this point, we really don't. We could use one.
I mean, Thaddeus Dixon at corner, I think would be interesting. Trying to think who else. Just pull up defensive lineman real quick, and I can see if there's any names that pop out. And again, I'm not very far into my draft analyst
I'm
yet.
nowhere near here. These are just names to me.
Yep. Kind of the same. Yeah, no one's really popping to me. So unless the kid from Navy's there, but he's just so small. He's 5'11", but he is a force. He's probably way down there. I think his last name is Robinson. Landon Robinson. You just passed him. If you keep going up, yeah, there he is. I would like him, but again, he's only 5'11". I think he's like 290. So I don't know if they would go after him. I would say just go with the cornerback.
We need a corner anyways. Developmental corner, we'll take it.
Yep, I think that's a good move.
We'll take the Navy kid here.
Okay, yeah, I think that would work. He's just got that movement skills to his game, and
at 5'11", 290, he's not a. Yeah, I mean, maybe a little 3 tech, but you put him out a wide 9 and let him wreak havoc.
Yep, exactly.
David Blay.
Okay.
Not Bailey. All right, Landon Robinson, Cuckoo Kachoo, Mrs. Robinson. We got your son on board. He is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Offseason great as it be. Cap health, we left it, cap tight. We'll figure it. Filled most of our needs. Our future outlook is good. Our roster moves. Tighten the cap, restructuring 3 contracts, traded Chris Godwin and pick 15 for Max Crosby. And free agency made 6 signings. Mike Evans was our first draft pick was Josiah Trotter. I think we made a pretty good move here. Our signings, we'll just go through it. Our trade, we sent Chris Godwin in the 15th overall pick and a 3rd round pick in 2027, which it wouldn't let us do, for Max Crosby. We signed Mike Evans, Alex Singleton, Quincy Williams, Kairos Tonga, Charlie Kohler, and Tyler Algier to new contracts. Our draft picks, we further addressed that inside linebacker spot with Josiah Trotter. Addressed that secondary with Genesis Smith, who can allow them to be very multiple on the defensive back end, especially when they go to 5 cornerbacks or 5 DBs, because they can play around with what Zion and even what Jacob Parrish can do, playing inside and outside, and also obviously with Ty Key and Antoine Winfield Jr. We addressed interior offensive line in the 4th with a versatile guy from Kansas State. I know Scott would be happy about that one. Another stayed on the offensive side of the ball with Justin Jolly, tight end. So increased that tight end competition. We let Kate Otten walk. So brought in a guy I thought it was pretty good value. Pless thought it was pretty good value there. Thaddeus Dixon for a developmental cornerback in the 6th, and the 5'11", 290 pound, or what was he, 290 or 190?
I think he's 290. Yeah.
5'11", 290?
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
God,
He wins.
I got to see what this guy looks like.
He wins. Yeah. He wins with leverage. So, I mean, he brings the pass rush, and that's what we're looking for. And he also, he's pretty solid in the run game too. Because again, low man wins. So he's always the lowest guy out there.
Absolutely.
So. I think that's a good offseason. Again, when you get Max Crosby, that's the headliner. That's what we're hoping for. If they can pull
Crosby
something
and
off.
Evans, you know.
Yep.
Now stay healthy. You're 4 deep at linebacker, 2 deep at running back. You know, tight end's going to be an iffy position, but if you can stay healthy at wide receiver, you really don't need that that much. So yeah, good little work through here. It's going to be fun to see what the Bucs decide to do here coming up in the next coming months. Definitely went longer than we anticipated, but hey, we had fun with it, right? So that's all that matters. Hopefully y'all had fun with it too. Learn some things, learn some names, some prospects. And if you want to keep learning about those names and prospects to get a full breakdown with videotape and everything like that, you're not going to find a better place than over at Real Bucs Talk, what Michael Pless and his partner is doing over there. So go ahead, promote yourself, tell them what's going on. What do you guys got next? You also got a Substack over there.
Yeah.
Mark is his partner, not his partner, but his partner, Mark Ramirez. Did I just tell his last name? I don't think anyone knew his last name.
Mark Ramirez, but yeah, he's my he's my co-host, good friend. Known him my whole life pretty much. But Real Bucs Talk, it's rolling right now. We just did a video on Boye Mafe. He's available up on our Substack. We also checked out
free agent, Super Bowl champion.
Free agent, and we also did one on Odafe Owe. So we got a lot of stuff cooking up. We have plenty of draft coverage, coming.
Just put a new one out for a draft pick too. Who was that?
Our Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. We did film study on him. Cassius Howell is on our channel. So
look at him. You can tell Cassius Howell is this guy, but how wide his rim got.
Love Cassius Howell. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun off season. So be sure to check out Real Bucs Talk. And JC, you are the man. I hope you had a great birthday. And I'm looking forward to doing this again soon as we get going here in the future. Absolutely.
We will be plugging away at this stick to the model. I forget who made it, but shout out to him. He's on Twitter. Awesome. It's been a fun little thing. It's the PFF mock simulator is cool. They have a PFN mock off season, but this one, I feel like this one's better.
Yes.
But it's cool to be able to do that and kind of just play with it. What can they do? And kind of you learn too, right? You learn a little bit about the cap, a little bit more, how things work. It becomes there's so many people who are just like, oh, go sign everybody. You can do it. The cap isn't real. And this helps you kind of learn a little bit about it too. And it's a lot of fun. So check it out. Shout out to him for creating it. Shout out to Pless for joining on here. Another edition of the Pirate Parlay podcast. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Maybe we'll do another one of these. We'll get Pless on. I want to get Pless and Josh on at the same time. Just kind of let them go back and forth while I just mediate it. Because they're two of the most knowledgeable people I know, especially when it comes to identifying prospects for the Buccaneers based on, what they're seeing on tape. I mean, I'm probably the best just kind of, putting it together. But, they do the best breakdowns, I tell you. 5 for 5 last year. 5 for 5.
That is true.
So we'll dive into it. I'm excited to dive into it. This kind of brought my passion back. I was kind of in the lull a little bit. It kind of brought me back in ready for draft season. So thank you, Pless. That's into it here over at Pirate Parlay on the Sick Podcast Network. For Michael Pless, a Real Bucs Talk, for myself, JC Allen. We're out of here. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
See you.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Pirate Parlay on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.